You're listening to the John and Heidi Show, now featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris, brought to you by SiouxEmpireJobs.com. Good day to you, sir.
Hey, right back at you. How you two doing? All right? Okie dokie.
Fantastic.
All right.
Good. Yeah, nice.
Sinead O'Connor's birthday today.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of a tumultuous
Yeah.
life.
I remember, she came in, shaved all her head off and her hair off and stuff.
Well, she announced, a week or two ago, she is going to spend one full year in rehab.
Oh.
Saying she's had a tough past 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I didn't know
that's
there was even
unfortunate.
stuff going on there. She and I have fallen out of touch, apparently. So
Yeah, well, that's what she's up to. Jim Morrison, lead singer of the Doors, of course, would have been 77 today.
nice.
Holy cow. And Eli Whitney, you know him, you love him. He invented the cotton gin, which was really a big push into the industrial era of America.
I've been told the cotton gin is the driest gin, by the way.
It's, okay, I get it. Lesser known invention by Eli, which never quite took off, the zucchini blotter. And what's going on? Let's see. Historically speaking, oh my goodness gracious, momentous day all the way around. This day, 1941, U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt delivers his Day of Infamy speech to Congress, day after, of course, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Also this day, 1941, the U.S. and Britain declare war on Japan.
Yeah.
Yep.
As U.S. enters World War II. See, we were hands off on that whole deal.
Yeah.
Going on in Europe, it's like, nope.
Yeah, they mess with the wrong people.
Nor were we really known as a superpower back then.
Yeah.
And, that whole thing, holy cow, changed a lot around. Yeah. And speaking of skirmishes, can't believe there weren't any involved here. 1872, religious leader Brigham Young, then 71 years of age, weds Hannah Tapfield in Salt Lake City, Utah. What's the big deal? Hannah would be wife number 55.
Whoa!
For Brigham Young.
Whoa!
He's Mormon.
Goodness
See, I
gracious.
always thought that was more of an objective than the guy's name. You know
Brigham Young?
Brigham Young.
That's Brigham Young.
I don't know if all that stuff's legal anymore, but good luck to you there. Brigham in incredible stuff. Well, I know now. You know, man, we're smarter for having tuned into this. Let's just forge ahead.
We'll do it. It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris, brought to you by SiouxEmpireJobs.com.
Want to save money? Take the BetterCreditCards.com challenge. It's simple and free, and you could save money every single month. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you get a better credit card. Do it today. BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Time now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves to wrestle bears and lasso ducks, run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals, too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
An happy salute of the Will Stars, brimming old Ranger Dan out to you, too. You're looking good. Mel, nice to see you. Heidi.
Ranger Dan.
Heidi, I don't want to put any pressure on the whole thing. Just a friendly reminder here. We've got 17 days to make Santa's naughty list. No pressure, no stress. It is the Christmas season, and we're going to flash back in time a little bit of a history lesson, and then a little bit of critter knowledge too.
Good deal.
Thing. The very first Christmas.
Yeah.
You think about it, the birth of our Savior,
Right.
Lord
Manger,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, the manger scene. There's
Yeah.
critters involved in that.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's kind of interesting, depending on what part of the world you're in. The critters will kind of switch out on you. For instance,
Really?
there's
really?
some nativity artwork, say, in Africa that actually includes maybe a zebra or giraffe or something like that. So it's kind of interesting. But historically speaking, some of the gimmies that you're going to find just about every dang time, you're going to have your sheep, of course.
Yeah.
You're going to have an oxen sitting there, maybe a cow, and of course maybe a camel or two, because that's how the wise men made the scene on their camels. And there's always a donkey.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now, the
absolutely.
reason you're always going to see a donkey is because, well, that's how Mary made her trek into Bethlehem.
Right.
On a donkey.
Rode on a donkey because, so I believe it or not, and this is shocking to me, because Uber and Lyft didn't exist yet.
Isn't that unfortunate?
Not yet, no.
So here's some interesting things, some facts, if you will, about donkeys that you probably don't know. Did you know donkeys can make pretty darn good livestock guard critters,
Really?
especially against wolves and coyotes?
Huh.
They will instinctively attack them, bite them, and if given enough time, they'll kill them.
Really?
That is a honest-to-goodness true story. Now, a lot of people like spending their winters in these parts. Maybe they want to blow to the old Caribbean, or is it Caribbean, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
The Caribbeans, here's the thing. You go to the Caribbean, you order a pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
Pepperoni is made from donkey.
Everywhere or just there?
The Caribbeans.
The Caribbeans.
In the Caribbean. I have no clue what they're using for sausage, but if you're going to the Caribbean, you might just want to order a salad. And finally, when it comes to engines, automotive engines, you think, gee, I mean, how many horses is that pack, and what's the horsepower there?
Oh, yeah, horsepower.
Just so you know, there is also a thing known as donkey power.
Is there really?
There certainly is, and donkey power is exactly 1/3 of horsepower.
Okay.
Donkey power is generally found under the hood of modern-day Priuses. Well, that's all the time we have today, little Radio Rangers. I hope you learned something. I know my brain is busting wide open.
Absolutely.
Until next time, this is Ranger Dan out. Say it with me.
Yes, sir. Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Time now for Water Cooler Talk with Mr. Dan Farris. It's brought to you by Lukewarm Tap Water.
Tap water.
This is really, really interesting. The Christmas tree thing, the live Christmas tree thing.
Yeah.
The shortage. Some dealers are selling out already
Oh, wow.
in South Dakota.
Huh.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. You
Did they order fewer trees?
Well, it's been everything from being able to get enough to due to the weather, and apparently this virus thing, a whole lot of people have busted out early and glommed them over, and apparently some dealers are pretty picked over. And
Wow.
normally where they also order their wreaths, they're now having to make their own.
Oh, wow.
According to Charlie and Donna Beck, Sioux Falls, for the past 52 years, they've picked out a real tree, and according to Charlie, quote, this year they're already pretty picked over, which is pretty interesting.
That is interesting because it's super early in the season yet.
Yeah, it is. So if this is a thing, for instance, they're talking to my buddy Kevin Baumgartner, him and his brother Brian, of course, been running Baumgartners forever and ever and ever. They're going, yeah, it's been really, really busy, and they're hoping to get more. So, yeah, if that's your thing, if you haven't gotten yours yet, from what I'm seeing here, you should probably get after it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Probably get after it. Yeah, super high demand, and it's been really warm out, so it's just been really conducive to, I suppose, grabbing the thing right now. So
I'm trying to figure out.
I've never really done the whole real Christmas tree thing.
I did when the kids were younger. Would always go out and actually cut our own.
There's also a thing now called a living Christmas tree, which is kind of a cool idea. You buy a tree that's actual, like has a root on the bottom of it, and then on the bottom it's either like a little gunny sack or something covering all of that up. But then in the spring you actually plant that, and then you have that tree.
Well, next thing you know, you're buying a Subaru. I don't think so.
It's a slippery slope, John.
Holy cow. Hey, anybody know the math on this? When does the 12 days of Christmas start? Do you know?
I would guess 12 days before Christmas.
I would
I'm
assume
looking
as
because-
well.
And do you count weekends too, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
How is this
They're
a
all
question?
days.
I'm just wondering, because like if I want to do, we used to do a thing called the 12 days of Christmas prizes, and I'd like to do that again. I've had a
How
couple
long
of
did that
different
take?
It took 12 days. So, but I didn't count weekends. See, that's where, I don't know if I'm so confused. I'll have to check into all of that. I thought Dan would have the answer, because, he doesn't.
He did have the answer.
Yeah,
It's 12 days before Christmas.
I'm going to double check that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris. Water cooler talk brought to you by Lukewarm Tap Water.
Tap water.
Want to save money? Take the bettercreditcards.com challenge. It's simple and free, and you could save money every single month. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you get a better credit card. Do it today. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for a bright spot of news brought to you by Paul's Designer Showroom on Lake Lorraine in Sioux Falls. And they can brighten any room with a beautiful light fixture. And right now, we're going to brighten your day with some really fun stuff to talk about here with Caleb. I've got Caleb Miller joining me. Caleb, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Now, you guys have got kind of a neat thing you're doing between now and Christmas to bring more Christmas joy this season. You've got some calendars with a bunch of different ideas on ways to brighten the world. And there's 25 different ways to do that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So where did this idea come from?
So this idea comes from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So the church has been doing it for a couple years now. It's just something to do worldwide every Christmas season.
The different ideas that people have, there's a link that I'm going to put on our Facebook page, but they can click on. There's a bunch of different ways to do things to kind of make the world a brighter place.
Yep, exactly.
Give me an example of one or two of the things that people will find when they click on the link, and one or two of the ways they can brighten their little corner of the world.
So, like, for example, like a couple of days ago, one of them was post on social media. Who has been like one of your heroes? Like a post on social media of someone that emulates Christ-like love in your life, and to give thanks for that person.
And that wouldn't take a long time to type that, but it would certainly brighten their day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And what are some of the other ideas on the list?
So like one of the other ideas, so there's a video that's on the Come to Christ website, like the world, that's where the website is. There's a video that they made of the nativity of the birth of Christ. Watch the video of the Christ child and then screenshot your favorite parts and type why Jesus Christ gives you hope in your life.
That's really cool. And that is the reason for the season. So it's a really great way. And this will continue each day all the way up, right up until Christmas Day. Is that right?
Yep. Goes all the way to Christmas.
And if people would like to find this, what is the website they would go to find this?
So the website would be Come Unto Christ and then /light the world.
I'll do my part. I'll share a link to that on our Facebook page as well. Caleb, thank you very much for reaching out. You guys had sent me a message saying, telling me what you were working on, and I thought it sounded like a neat thing. I appreciate it a bunch.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
And again, Caleb Miller, and this is a really neat thing to do between now and Christmas to brighten your little corner of the world. 25 ideas to light the world between now and Christmas Day. Again, I've got a link to it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/sunnyradio and facebook.com/Sioux Falls News.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Time now for entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
Because celebrities are
Fabulous.
fabulous. And man, oh man, I don't know what he's going to do with all this do-re-mi, all this green, all this cheese, but I'm sure he'll spend it wisely.
Who's that?
Bob Dylan just cashed in.
Okay.
Pretty big time. He just sold his entire catalog of songs.
Really?
Deal with the Universal Music Group.
What kind of do-re-mi did he get?
North of $300 million.
Woo!
Quite a catalog, though. Deal includes 600 plus copyrights, ranging from 1962's Blowin' in the Wind, 64's The Times They Are A-Changin', and this year's Murder Most Foul.
Wow.
It's actually a ballad about the 1963 assassination of JFK.
Really?
And it's also become his very first number one hit. Bob is 79 these days. He's from the Iron Range, actually, Hibbing, Minnesota.
Okay.
So kind of a homeboy. I'm Minneapolis.
His real
kid.
name is not Bob Dylan, though, is it?
No, it's Zimmerman.
Yeah, Robert Zimmerman.
Robert
I think
Zimmerman.
you just told me that again last week, and I had already forgotten it.
Yeah, and he actually turned to music. He was the only one in the Iron Range area that didn't play hockey. So you get kind of exiled. They say, hey, why don't you buy a guitar or something, Bob?
Yeah.
And,
My aunt is a huge
She is.
Dylan fan.
Yeah, but I
Loves
still,
him.
if I come across like Tangled Up in Blue, like that, I will still crank it. Yeah.
That's cool.
So I can remember the first time I actually heard him. I was just a kid, and I had a friend of mine in grade school named Jeff Babel.
Oh, okay.
And Jeff Babel's dad ran the bowling alley.
Huh.
So it's like free bowling.
Right,
yes,
I
please.
know.
Yes, please. And I've always had just a thing for rental shoes.
That explains why you wear those.
But his older brother was probably in his mid-teens at the time. We walked into Jeff's house, and his older brother goes, hey, you want to hear something cool? Yeah, sure, I'm okay with that. Yeah. And we went to his room, and he put on this album, this Bob Dylan guy who I had never heard. Wow, okay. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
That's awesome.
I mean, I'm like 9, you know?
It's really cool.
It's really heavy, dude. I know.
It is very heavy.
Got anything by the Archies?
Well, Dan, thanks for the update, sir. My favorite Bob Dylan story, by the way, I got to throw this in because I thought this was really cool. When we saw Ricky Nelson Remembered from the Nelson twins, they shared the story that, after that type of music kind of got out of style because the Beatles showed up, they had this guy, they just referred to him as Uncle Bob, who was like living at their house, sleeping on their sofa. And it wasn't until years later they realized what a big deal that was. It was Bob Dylan was sleeping on Ricky Nelson's sofa.
He gets around.
So, yeah, anyway, very cool stuff. Dan, thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. And congrats, Bob. That'll be a nice little retirement fund there.
It's very cool. $300 million, he ought to be able to do, something with that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour with Dan Farris, brought to you by SiouxEmpireJobs.com.
Want to save money? Take the BetterCreditCards.com challenge. It's simple and free, and you could save money every single month. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you get a better credit card. Do it today. BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, December 8th, 2020. The major indices held steady on Monday in what was an otherwise uneventful day of trading. The S&P 500 fell about 0.5% on an intraday basis, but reclaimed about half of the loss before the close of the session. The day's action is a sign of caution and not a little indecision. With so much riding on the economic rebound and COVID cases still on the rise, a little caution is more than warranted. This week could be a volatile one for investors. The market is waiting for the next cue, and it could come from Congress at any time. Hopes for a bipartisan COVID relief bill continue to grow. If passed, the bill would send another surge of stimulus through the economy. But there is another risk as well. That risk is a government shutdown. A stopgap effort to keep the government running for a week is probably not enough to get the stimulus deal done. If the aid package falls apart like it did before, the market could take a dive. You can get the inside track in your inbox daily at marketbeatminute.com.